webinar presentation. My name is Brian Carruthers, and I am certainly delighted that you're taking a few minutes to hear this presentation about our company and our opportunity as we're sweeping the nation across U.S. and Canada with some very, very needed services. We want to share with you a very significant opportunity for you to partner with us to be a profiteer from two of the biggest trends that are getting ready to sweep North America. Now, anytime you're ever going to look or evaluate a business or a company, there's 5 key criteria that you want to evaluate. Number 1, you want to make sure that the company is rock solid. I'm sure you would agree that you do not want to attach your name, your credibility to a company that might be here today and gone tomorrow. And so I want to encourage you to understand that we have a rock solid company. Number 2, a need in the marketplace. If you can find a need that's waiting to be filled and fill that void, that's where fortunes are able to be created. Number 3, the product. The product, in my opinion, I want to make sure that if I'm going to go out there and tell somebody about a product, I don't want to have to put my pride in my back pocket to do so. So I want to make sure that in the next few minutes you understand how vastly needed our product is and how excited you will be to go tell folks about it. Number 4, the compensation. If there was just a little bit of money on the table to compensate you for your efforts helping our company with our expansion, then it may not be worth your time and effort. But when you take a look at how much opportunity financially is here for you, in the next 20 minutes, you're going to understand that it's very, very significant. And number 5, the T in timing, I believe, is way more important than the T in talent. You know, would you rather say I am smart or I is a millionaire? So the bottom line is, jokes aside, that being in the right place at the right time and capitalizing on it is crucial. So let's first start off with our company. The company, Legal Shield, has been around since 1972. We have millions of people that are benefiting by having access to our services already so far. And we have a proprietary system, a network of quality law firms across 49 states and even in 4 provinces of Canada now. Now, when you take a look at what I'm going to share with you about our company, of course, I work with Legal Shield. I've got nothing but great things to say. But what are others in the public, in the consumer field, talking about Legal Shield? Yelp, 5-star rating. Consumer Affairs, 5-star rating. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. We have glowing reviews from corner to corner. Now, let's talk about the need. Is there a need for the services that we're bringing to the marketplace, our legal plans and our identity theft protection? Well, let's talk about the legal need. In 2012, 35 million people went to the hospital. The same year, almost 100 million court filings. That means you're almost 3 times more likely to wind up in court as you are a hospital. Most people have health insurance, but most people don't even know a legal plan even exists. That's where we come in. Now, here's a short little list of some ideas that I want to run by you to make you understand what I had to understand when I first learned of this company and the service 16 years ago. Because when I first heard about it, I said, I've never needed attorneys. And the gentleman said, Brian, it's not that you never needed attorneys, you just didn't use them because of the cost. He said, have you ever signed a contract or a document that you didn't understand? And maybe it bit you in the butt later on. Or maybe you've been overcharged for repair. Maybe you've been treated unfairly. Maybe you got a speeding ticket or had your identity stolen or know somebody who has. Or maybe you had a situation in life where you had having an attorney get involved would have gotten you a better outcome or would have removed a lot of the stress. Well, that's what Legal Shield actually does. It gives you the ability to be able to pick up the phone and get help whenever you deem it necessary. Now, our law firms are taking 40,000 calls a week, 2 million times a year. Our law firms are hearing from Legal Shield members. And here I am, perfect example. 16 years ago, I had signed up for Legal Shield for the first time. And before that, I never used attorneys. Since then, I've utilized the services over 50 times. Now, let me ask you a question. Was I a law-abiding citizen, and then suddenly I signed up for Legal Shield, and then I became a criminal and started running around breaking the law? No, the need for these services for me didn't change. Just my access changed. So you're going to have the ability, as you look at the screen here, the ability to call your law firms and get unlimited legal advice on any kind of a personal matter, real estate, divorce questions, bankruptcy, child custody, landlord-tenant issues. You can call and get these questions answered on an unlimited basis. You can call them today 5 times if you need to and not worry about getting a legal bill. On top of that, 24/7 access for an emergency. If you have an emergency, a legal emergency that comes up at 9 o'clock at night, or maybe you have a son or daughter on spring break in Fort Lauderdale, and you told them not to do it, but they did it anyway, and they're getting in trouble, maybe even locked up at 2 o'clock in the morning, who can they call? Well, they have the right to remain silent, the right to call their lawyer. They will have that access. On top of that, letters or phone calls made on your behalf. I'm sure you would agree that a letter on your law firm's letterhead will be a lot more powerful than you or I writing a letter on our own. Let me give you a couple of examples of this. I had a dry cleaner in Maryland, where I used to live, that ruined a $48 dress shirt of mine. Now, it's bad enough that they ruined a shirt that I liked, but they refused to pay for a new shirt, even though they admitted to me that they did the damage. And they pointed to a sign on the wall behind the counter that says they're not responsible for damaged items. And I get that. They want to protect themselves against other people blaming them for things. Well, I felt that was unfair. I went home. I called my attorney. He said, Brian, relax. He wrote a 3-page letter on my behalf. 11 days later, I had a letter in the mail apologizing from the owner of the dry cleaning chain and a check out of his personal account for the $48 to buy me a new shirt. Would you have called an attorney to have them write a letter for $200 or $300 an hour? Of course not. Not for a $48 issue. I wouldn't either. But because I was a Legal Shield member, of course I would, and of course I did, and I got my results. I had a cell phone problem where I canceled my cell phone service with one company to move on to the next because the service was so bad. They charged me $283 as their early termination fee of my contract. Well, I called the law firm. They wrote a letter to that company, and literally a week later I got a phone call from somebody at their executive office that basically apologized for how I was treated, told me I should have been treated way better, thanked me for being a customer of theirs for 16 years, and put the $283 back on my credit card while I was talking to her on the phone. I got nowhere on my own, but my attorney got me unbelievable results. So they'll write those letters. They'll make phone calls for you. On top of that, contracts and documents being reviewed. There's an old saying, the bold print giveth, but the fine print taketh away. Look, folks, we sign things all the time we shouldn't sign. And I've had people say, Brian, I've never used an attorney. I said, well, have you ever signed a contract? They said, yeah. I said, well, guess what? You used an attorney, because anytime you sign something, attorneys wrote those contracts. And it was typically the other person's attorney that you used that was representing and protecting the other party's interests, not yours and mine. So now before you buy a home, lease a car, rent an apartment, purchase a cell phone, join the gym, what have you, now you can fax or send these documents over to your law firm, have them look over your shoulder for once. On top of that, will preparation, the last will and testament. You know, do you all realize that 70% of people in America don't have a will? 90% don't have an up-to-date will? 100% of us are going to need one. I mean, if you die without a will, the state can and will determine who raises your children and who gets your assets. I've heard about families breaking them over a wristwatch, passed down by a grandparent, silverware wars, my brothers and sisters fighting over forks and knives, not talking for 20 years. Well, the typical cost of a will, to have one properly drawn up by a law firm, is going to be about $1,000. And then updating it on an ongoing basis is even more expense. Well, Legal Shield does not want any of our families out there across North America to be without this will. So you're going to be assigned an attorney to draw your will up for you for free and update it every year for free. We'll even do your living will and your advanced medical directives, all of that at no cost. Here's one of the main reasons why I love what I do at Legal Shield is because anytime I talk to anyone and I share with them these services, I know that most of them don't have a will, and I just put them in a position to save them $1,000 right then on the spot. So if you're one of those folks that don't have your will, guess what? Tell your spouse, you know, when you see them tonight, hey, look, honey, I got our will done, and we're going to get it done this week, and I saved us $1,000. I'm getting it done for free with this membership I just got. I guarantee you'll get the best kiss you've had in a long time. On top of that, traffic issues. If you get a speeding ticket, what do most people do? Most people pay the fine, admit guilt, points go on the record, their insurance goes up. What if you can have attorneys, lawyers that can help you to fight those tickets to keep the points off your record? Now, we don't fix tickets, but I assure you a lawyer will be a lot better than you and I trying to deal with it ourselves. Well, I've had a few tickets over the last several years since I've been a member, and each and every time the attorneys helped me fight it, we won, and I've got 0 points on my record. You know what that means? My insurance company thinks I'm a perfect driver. It's amazing. IRS audit issues. You ever get audited by the IRS? What if you could have attorneys who know all the up-to-date tax codes that can represent you and handle the audit for you? That's all covered as a part of the membership. Civil trial defense. If somebody comes along and they want to sue you, what if you had pre-trial and trial hours that are included in this? Give you an example of this. I had a townhouse in Maryland I've been renting out for years. I move out, and the tenant moves out, didn't pay the water bill for 2 years, and struck me with an $800 bill. I took it out as security deposit. I had every right to do that. Well, 9 months goes by. I get a letter from a law firm. He's suing me for $800. So I called up my attorney, and he said, Brian, fax me a copy of the letter and the lease. I'll get back to you. The next day, he called me back and said, hey, we're all done. I said, what do you mean we're all done? He said, well, here's what happened. This guy's thinking, all right, Brian's a business guy. he was thinking, am I going to spend $300 an hour for however many hours, probably a couple $1,000 in legal fees, trying to save myself $800, or am I going to strike him a check for $800 and take the lesser of the two evils and get him out of my hair? But when my attorney told his attorney to tell him that my attorney's fees are going to be zero, they're already paid for, but he's going to have to pay his attorney by the hour, guess what he said? Bye-bye. He tucked his tail and ran. Went the other direction. It's called building a legal fortress around you didn't have before. All that is also covered as a part of this membership. Family law. If you have uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, name change, all of that will be included as part of the membership as well. And on top of that, anything, by the way, everything I've talked about is covered. Anything I haven't talked about, anything from bankruptcy, bank robbery, criminal charge, you're going to be a plaintiff and you want to go sue someone, or even a pre-existing matter, anything else, you're going to get a guaranteed discount, a 25% discount off the hourly rates from our law firms. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to pay full price for anything. Well, you'll never pay full price for a law firm or an attorney ever again. Now, here's my favorite part about this. Okay, this covers you, your spouse, and all your dependents. One family, one membership is all you need. Now, what I'd like to do is ask you a question. Let's say you're the attorney. I'm the client walking into your law firm. I said, look, I want you to provide all these services for me and my whole family, but I don't want to pay you by the hour. I want to pay you one check a month. If you're my lawyer, how much would you charge me for the whole month, for my whole family? Most people quote me anywhere, at a couple $100 an hour, you expect it to be thousands a month. I usually hear anywhere from $500 to $5,000 a month. Well, yes, you can call a lawyer. Call a lawyer for $250 an hour. That's the national average. Or with Legal Shield, we're talking about $20 a month for your whole family to have everything I just shared with you. When I heard that, I said, that is the best dollar value I've ever heard in my entire life. The only question I couldn't shake, what does this $20 attorney look like? I was picturing 3 law school dropouts sharing a desk and a coffee pot in basement of some building. Opposite. The exact opposite is what I found. They went out and networked together some of the top-rated law firms across North America to provide these services to our members. Now, how do we get the best law firms money can buy? It's because a third of every single monthly fee collected in the entire state goes to these firms every single month. We're paying these firms, some of them anywhere from $100,000 to over $1 million a month, some of them. So whether you come with a $3 problem or a $3 million problem, you are always treated as a law firm's #1 client. And look, we've got unbelievable endorsements and people that are really raving about what we do here at Legal Shield. The executive director for the Conference of Western Attorneys General for North America here, talking about what Legal Shield does for business owners and ordinary citizens. Buddy Caldwell, Attorney General from Louisiana, provides access to justice for all citizens. It opens the courthouse doors and levels the playing field for everyone. Here we have Mike Moore talking about how Legal Shield balances the scales of justice for all of our citizens. And here also, Duke Iona, former lieutenant governor for the state of Hawaii and a retired circuit and family court judge, talking about how this company, Legal Shield, gives people access to justice in an affordable and quality way. Look, I can be on here for an hour sharing with you the endorsements, but everybody, when I show them the service, they just get it. People, look, if you live in America, if you don't know your rights, if you can't defend your rights, you might as well not have any. And the doors of the legal system have been closed, not because the need's not there, it's because the cost. And we have just fixed that for you and for your family. The next part of our service, identity theft, the fastest growing crime in the world, over 100 million victims a year. And a lot of people don't realize it's not just somebody stealing your credit card or tapping your bank account, somebody getting a hold of your social security number, your medical records, your driver's records. People are filing tax returns with our information on it, getting the tax refund check, heading for the hills, and we go to get our tax refund, and guess what? The IRS says, hey, we've already paid it out. They didn't know it wasn't us. Now we've got to go fight it and figure out how we're going to get that money back. The reality is, folks, we have so many different ways our identities are being stolen and compromised. It's a very, very scary situation. But what we do have is the only viable solution that exists in the marketplace today. Now, you'll see things advertised on TV and so forth, and they're kind of attempting to put some kind of a solution together and be able to actually create a business model out of it. But what we have is what every single person needs. Kroll is a company that the U.S. government brought in to unravel Enron. The Kuwaiti government hired Kroll to track down Saddam Hussein's bank accounts hidden around the world. The SEC, the FBI used Kroll for forensic accounting, and some of the biggest corporations in America over the last several years that have had their big identity breaches with millions and tens of millions of victims at a time. Who do they turn to? They're going to turn to the best, Kroll. But we have the exclusive rights through Legal Shield to offer Kroll services to individuals and families across the United States and Canada. Let me share with you what it does. First of all, you're going to get access to free credit score and analysis. Secondly, you'll have the ability to get on the phone and call a credit counselor and find out what you can do to increase your credit score. Now, I don't know about you, but if your credit score is a 650 and you'd rather have it be a 750 so you can lower your borrowing costs on your next home or car, well, what do you do? Just cross your fingers and hope it goes up one day? That's what most people do. Well, what if you could call an expert and get some counseling on what to do with your different accounts that you've got already, lower the score, get rid of that one you haven't used in 5 years to increase your score? That is going to be amazing how much money that's going to save you. Credit monitoring and alerts. There's people out there across the country that are spending $15 to $20 a month per person just to have their credit monitored and have an alert sent to them. Now, by the way, it's good to have that, but we do that as a part of our service at no extra cost. And they give you unlimited identity theft consultation with Kroll's experts, the best in the world at doing what they do in this entire space. But here's the kicker. Nobody else has what we have. We have Kroll's experts that it's not if, but when you become a victim of identity theft, you will be assigned licensed investigators from Kroll who will jump in and restore your identity back to pre-theft status. It could be 50 hours. It could be 300 hours. They and their manpower and their expertise is on the job, and they get it done. And by the way, if you want to guarantee, there's now a $5 million service guarantee that they will get that job done for you. They will spend the money and the resources, and you will be at peace. And so our service with the legal plan for $20, add on the ID Shield for your identity theft needs for $39.90 for the combination. And why would you want to have both? Well, first of all, everybody needs to make sure that you're protecting your identity. And 70% of identity thefts incur legal issues where people have to go out and hire attorneys at full price. So it's the best hand-in-glove fit. These two products are serving a vast need. And you know what? You always say, hey, you can't put a price tag on peace of mind. Well, guess what? We just did. Just barely of $1 a day for your whole family to have everything that I just shared with you. You probably now understand why we're signing up over 30,000 people a month for our services. It just makes so much sense to folks. And look, if you have a mobile phone, which just about everybody does, there's kids in grade school that have mobile phones now. Well, we now have an app that you're now going to get for free. Everybody who's a member, you'll be able to have this on your phone. Tap one button and call your law firm. Tap one button and call Kroll. Tap one button and call Legal Shield if you need to reach us. And tap the red button for the 24/7 access for any kind of emergency that comes up after hours for a legal emergency. Tap, call, and you have equal access. Isn't that powerful? Look, everybody needs what we have. And I'm sure after you've seen what you just saw, you're going to be signing up for the service like everybody else does. But we have two goals with Legal Shield. Number one, we want to sign up every family with our legal plan and ID Shield. Right now we're servicing 3.7 million lives so far. We have 34,000 companies where their owner said, bring this in. We want you to offer this to our employees. We want them and their families to be protected. We care about our employees. 34,000 companies are already doing that so far. Our second goal is to create more millionaires than any other company in North America. Now, I heard that 16 years ago when I heard our company's founder make that statement. And I thought it was quite grandiose, frankly. But back then, we had I think we had 12 or 13 Millionaire Club members. That many people who had earned in excess of $1 million working with Legal Shield on the side. Well, now we have over 190 Millionaire Club members. We have several hundred that are earning a six-figure ring, which means you're earning that much in a year. So how does our business work? Well, there's three questions that most people ask. Number one, how much does it get started? How much does it cost to get started up in a Legal Shield business? Number two, how do I do the business? And number three, how much can I earn? So let me address that with you right now. First of all, when I started up in this business 16 years ago, it was a $249 startup cost. We actually have a temporary promotion right now where it's only $149, $100 less than what I paid, and I turned it into a very, very significant income. I mean, I've been doing nothing but Legal Shield, working for myself from home for the last 16 years as a stay-at-home dad. And for $149, you get all the marketing materials, training materials. They set up a website for you so you can send people to it. They can check out the info, sign up online. You have a benefits program. It's going to save you money in all other areas of your life as well. And we teach you word for word. You've got mentorship and coaching that will teach you everything that you need to learn to succeed in a part-time, or even some people even go full-time after they start doing so well with their Legal Shield business. So, by the way, I talked about savings. You can save money in all these different places. Look at these incredible vendors that want to do business with our Legal Shield members. Office supplies, car rentals, computers, clothing, travel. I mean, it's just extra savings, just an oh, by the way. But this was one of the most important components to what I saw when I was evaluating this business myself. Is that as busy as I am, I'm working 60 hours a week in my real estate career. I'm already so busy I can't even see straight. And I was contemplating starting a side business. I said, no way, I don't have time. He said, Brian, don't let your reason to do this business be your excuse not to. If you have no time, that's why you need to get some passive residual cash flow coming in, so eventually you can let up off the gas pedal and get more time freedom back and enjoy your life more. And he said, Brian, it's called split-second marketing. He said, how long is it going to take you to say to somebody, hey, go check out this company website, watch the video, listen to this conference call presentation, and then walk you through a little iPad or flipbook presentation. Hey, come out and have lunch with us and go to a lunch and learn or a business briefing. You know, we have all kinds of tools and systems in place that allow people, busy people like you and like myself, to be able to build a side business with Legal Shield. And so let me share with you how we get paid. There's 3 main ways that we get paid as marketing associates with this company. First of all, personal commissions. Every time you go out and tell somebody about the service and they sign up, you get paid. Secondly, you can be like a broker and find other people that want to come on board so that they can do some marketing, get paid some great income. And every time they market a membership, they're getting paid, but you get an override, just like a real estate broker gets an override when a realtor is selling a house. And the third way we get paid is called residual income. For all the customers that keep the service, every month they pay their membership fee, the company's going to send you a little piece of that as a residual income. Let me walk you through the numbers. So we're going to use a compensation example of a $39.90 plan for the legal and identity theft combined. Okay? You, as a junior associate just starting off, you're going to get paid $39 and $39. Basically, you're earning $78 for each person that you're signing up on a $39 sale. But after you go out and sign a few people up right away, 5 customers, or you bring 2 associates on board, the company's going to promote you to a higher commission level of associate, and now you're going to get paid $115. $9 sale, and you're making $115. And then you become a senior associate, go out and sign a few more people up, you're making $153, then to $192, $230, up to $280 that you'll get paid every time you sign up a customer for Legal Shield. So they're going to pay you every time you recommend somebody to get signed up. Secondly, you get that override, the broker-type override. If you find other folks that are interested in coming on board, they want to make some extra money with us, they go out and start signing people up, they get paid the same red dollars that you saw there. You're going to get paid an override of anywhere from $39, and these are cumulative, by the way, all the way up to $206. Let me share with you how it works. If you're an associate making $115, and you bring Bob on board, and he's a junior associate, he's making $78. The $115 that you're getting paid minus the $78 that was paid out to him is that $39 override. So you're going to earn $39 every time Bob sends an application in. Now, let's say you're a manager. You're making $192 when you sign somebody up. But let's say you bring John on board as a new junior associate, and John's making $78. You make the $39 plus $39 plus $39, which are the associate, senior associate, manager overrides, and you take it out to the right, you see that $117? You're making $117 every time John sends an application in. Think about this. If you have junior associates that goes out and markets 10 memberships, 10 times 117, you made $1,170 that week. What if you had 10 people that went out and did that? Instead of 1,100, you made 11,000. Do the math. The money can add up real quick. Let's say you're a director. You're a director, and you come show me the information tonight. Let's say I'm not on board yet. I say, look, the real estate market's slow. I can definitely use extra cash flow. I'm on board. Everybody I know needs a service. So I'm a junior associate that you brought aboard. I make $78 every time I'm signing somebody up. The company's going to pay you, the director, the $230 minus $78, which is $156. Every time I send an application in, you make $156. So think about this. 10 applications go in, $1,500. There's a lot of money on the table. So you're getting paid when you're signing people up. You're getting paid when others are signing people up. You have no idea that the sales are even being made. You don't even know who's being signed up, yet you're still getting those deposits every day. The third way we get paid is that residual income. Because a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you're also going to earn a percentage on all those memberships as long as they stay on the service for the life of them on the membership. I've been in the company now 16 years, 2015. And I'm still getting paid today in 2015 back on customers I signed up back 16 years ago, back in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, still getting paid every month to this day. And I will keep on getting paid for the rest of their lives on the service. I would not do anything else for the rest of my life if it didn't have number one, leverage, and number two, residual income attached to it. We also get paid daily. How do you like to get paid daily? You don't have to wait 2 weeks for a check. You sign up a membership, you get paid daily on that every day. Now, here's an example. Let's say you go find 3 people that might have some interest in coming on board. And those 3 people go out and find 3 people to be a part of their team, which is still also a part of yours. And those 9 people go out and bring 3 people aboard each. That's 27 more. You've got 39 people on your team, 39 associates. So let's say you're a director and now you're making a $39 override on each of the sales that they make. So every time they make a $39 sale, let's say those 39 people go out and do 1 sale per month. You make almost $1,500 in overrides for the month in your pocket. If they went out and did 1 sale a week, $5,900 for the month goes in your pocket. 1 sale a day, your monthly income is over $44,000. Folks, we're talking about having 39 people on your team. There are some folks that might look at this and say, hey, I want to be a lot more ambitious than that. I can go out and build a massive team all over the country. And by the way, you can, and people have. So we have, on top of the fact that the company's paid out over $1 billion in commissions over the last 10 years, we have other perks where they give you points every time you sign up a member, 2 points every time you sign up an associate, and you get 5 points a month. After 4 months, they'll give you some recognition. After 8 months, they'll give you a bonus, and after 12 months, each and every month thereafter you do it, they'll give you $300 cash, or you can take delivery of a brand new BMW. We have several hundred people right now in the company that are driving new Beamers paid for by Legal Shield. Annual paid vacations, not for the top 5 or 10 people in the company, but to exotic locations, all expenses paid, 800 people a year. Even the top echelon associates in our company have been able to go to London, Sea Island. This year we're going to Rome, Italy, and next year they just made the announcement that some of us are going to be going to Rio de Janeiro to witness the Summer Olympics, the Olympic Games. I've never done that before, and I'm very much looking forward to qualifying for that trip. Now, the key in timing is the most important thing. Look, where we are today is where medical insurance was 50 years ago. Back then, people said, I'm not going to pay before I get sick. I'll pay my doctor bill when I go. That's what people used to think. It took 10 years to get 2 out of 100 people to say, hey, it makes sense to pay for health insurance at a time. It took 10 years to get to 2%, and then 7 years to go from 2 to 52%. Where were the fortunes made? By people who got involved after everybody has signed up for it, or the people who got involved before the explosion happened? That's where you want to be. Where we are right now is at 2%. USA Today says to us, sounds like healthcare before it turned into a $1 trillion industry. Before, that's where we are. There's 4 major industries in the insurance industry in America. Life insurance, already over $100 billion. Auto, already over $100 billion. Health, already over $100 billion. Legal, it's a $100 billion potential, but we have barely scratched the surface. And so why are people joining our business? Well, they believe in the product. They want everybody to know about it. Number 2, they desire more income. I mean, who doesn't want more income, especially if you can do this very, very part-time? 3, they want more time freedom. 4, they desire personal and professional growth. Or 5, they enjoy the people here and they like making new friends. And we meet all 5 of these. And look, Jim Rohn, the great author and business coach of all, one of the best of all time, he's passed away a few years ago. He used to say that you work hard all day at your job to earn a living, but you should work spare time, nights and weekends building your fortune. And the question is, what are you building for you? If you're going to a building every day and fighting that rush hour traffic and getting somewhere where the building does not have your name on the top of it, you're building somebody else's dream. And that's okay. It's noble. It's great to be a hard worker and have a job. But for you and for your family, build something like this on the side like I did. I was able to quickly build this up so I can walk away from a real estate career, and I don't do anything else but Legal Shield. And the lifestyle I have is something I never would have had if I was in a traditional business or in a traditional type of a career. So basically, here's the action steps. Number 1, become a member. The service is for everyone. Number 2, become an associate. You have nothing to lose and all to gain by getting involved in this business, because you're going to tell somebody, and they're going to tell somebody, and the ripple effect is going to spread away from you as long as you get registered today as an associate. As that ripple spreads away from you, after you start telling people about it, it all gets tracked back to you, all that upfront override and residual income. We'll get you trained, we'll get you earning commissions, and we'll help you start building a team. It's a very simple, it's a fun business. Where else can you have fun, help people, and make money all at the same time? Look, I want to thank you for your time here today. The person that invited you to listen to this thought you had some special skills or some desires. Maybe they felt that this could be the answer to a prayer, something that you could be using to make your life even better. And we would love to have you be a part of this team with us. And so I would encourage you to get back to the person who invited you on. Let them know that you're on, that you're excited about it. Maybe it's some questions we can get them answered for you. And get on your on the website and get yourself registered. We look forward to working with you, and let's make 2015 a breakout year so that going forward you have more time freedom, you've got more income, and you can go out there and do a lot more with your life. Have a great night, and I appreciate your time today.